Well, we had to show that one just because it was good. Okay, we had other games. Don't look now, Toronto. Hey, Canada, y'all are having a year. Raptors 5 straight. They beat the Sixers. Now, the Sixers did not have Embiid, PG, or Oubre. That's fine. But that's all right. It's still a win. Scotty Barnes was 16, 9, and 5. 6 players in Toronto had double figures. They outscored Philadelphia 46-22 in the third. And don't look now, but Toronto is sitting second in the East, 3 games behind the Pistons. I know. We always talk about fool's gold and things are given out and all that stuff, Chandler. But I mean, do we have to start taking them a little more seriously?
I think they deserve the flowers. I think they deserve the respect for this kind of start. They have 3 dudes that are averaging right around 20. Their top 4 guys have played in every single game. So when you look at Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Barrett, and Quigley, they've played every game. So they've been blessed with health, which you see obviously across the league. A lot of teams do not have that luxury right now. So they've had that consistent lineup. Their bench is where it gets a little thin. They got a guy like Jamal Shed playing a lot of minutes. Grady Dick, I thought he was going to be one of those guys that would take a jump. He's been kind of struggling. So I think their bench is thin. They don't have a lot of size outside of Jacob Poeltl, but their record's undeniable. The way they play is undeniable. I think this is a little similar to Chicago getting off to a hot start, where I think they're going to come back down to earth a little bit. But this is a versatile team. Think about those 3 guys that I said, Barrett, Ingram, and Barnes. They're all so interchangeable. They're all 6'7" to 6'9". They can switch on defense. They all can handle. They all can set the action. So they're on to something here. I just don't. Are they a top 4 team in the East? I don't see it over an 82 game series, or season. But 10-5, second in the East. It's nothing but positive vibes and good things to say about them so far in the season.
I'll say why not. The East is all over the place.
There you go. It's fair.
I'm gonna take everybody for face value until somebody creates some separation in the East. I'm taking everybody at face value. Look, 2 weeks ago, Chicago was in this conversation. I said Chicago was one of the better teams at this time. We're still very early in this season, and a lot of teams are still right there in the mix. Some of these second place teams, they're 2 games away from being an 8th place team. So we're still very young in this season, but I do like what Toronto is building. I like the identity. We just talked about Barnes. We just talked about R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram. Like, shine a light on Brandon Ingram. I think people forget how good of a basketball player he is because he's dealt with injuries. But that 1-2 punch with him and Scotty Barnes, they are a dangerous duo. And then when you mix in R.J. Barrett, he's also a guy that was highly touted when he played for New York. Quickly played that 6-man role in New York, but starting now. Now all of these guys are starting to come into their own and still very young in this league. I think people forget that Scotty Barnes is just 24 years old. So these guys are still finding their rhythm, still finding their groove and what type of players they are. And they've been a perfect match, So shout out to the Toronto Raptors, we the North, and all of that stuff that they like to say up there. That is a great place to play basketball, especially when you're winning games. So they should be happy with the group that they have. And I think this team is going to be good. I do agree with Chandler that bench is a little thin. That's going to be worrisome when some of these teams start to get healthy and teams start to be whole. How can you go to your second group and withstand leads or go get leads during games? That's going to be a concern of theirs moving forward. But right now, they're playing really good basketball.
What do they need? I mean, look, they got 5 players that are averaging between 12 and 21. You mentioned Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. Like, if you could just have a magic wand, what would you add, Chandler? What would they need to really push this thing forward?
Don't know if, when you look at their future, I think Scotty Barnes, he is the franchise piece. But ball in hand, game on the line, I think Brandon Ingram is now their guy. He's kind of their facilitator. He's their go-get-a-bucket guy. And then R.J. Barrett's kind of somewhere in between, right? He's kind of that scoring, high volume, take a bunch of shots. And some nights you're going to have to live with him, shooting 30% from the field. But then there's some nights he can get hot and he can go for 40, 50 points. So they have the talent, they have the scoring, they have the versatility of those 3 wings. I love Emmanuel Quigley. I do love Grady Dick, even though he's averaging 7 or 8 points a game this year. I think he's going to get going. They need more depth. I think they need more depth. They need more size. Really, Jacob Poeltl is the only big man that they really have that's going to play valuable minutes. And so I just don't know if those 3 guys, those 3 wings, are enough and consistent enough to separate themselves in the Eastern Conference. It's a great story. It's a great start. 10-5, 2 in the East. There's nothing to snarl at there, but I just don't know if this group can continue to keep that through 82 games. But like I said, It's an awesome start, and they're on to something, and they are pretty young. Like, you look at RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, like, they're building something there. I just still think they're years away.
Yeah, and for me, I think they got the guard play on lock. I think they're in a great position with guards and guys that can score the basketball. But they gotta. Where's the size, right? Like Podol is your guy. Listen, in that East, he's gonna have to go through Bam. He's gonna have to go through Mobley, Allen, Cat, even Giannis. You could throw Giannis on that list. If Joel Embiid gets healthy, you're gonna have to deal with some size in that East. So that's the only thing that concerns me about the Toronto Raptors. But as far as small ball goes, and they're gonna play these 4 guards along with Podol out there being on the floor with them, I think it's a good mix. But if you're gonna play half court basketball, and some of these teams they feature big guys that can shoot and that can post up and do all of these things and can match you eye for an eye when it comes to offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding, that'll be a concern for me moving forward.
Guys, I'm going to correct us right now because there's nothing that irks me more than when I hear people say names incorrectly. And you will respect Jacob Poeltl. You will respect Poeltl the Turtle. Poeltl the Turtle. That's how you'll remember it for the rest of your life.
Doesn't look like that would be it.
It's clearly a different nation of origin spelling.
I knew I was saying it wrong, but I was just going to die on that hill. I wasn't tripping.
Well, no, because Chandler did it, and I was like, no, it's.
I thought I nailed it. I said it with confidence.
I knew I was saying it wrong.
You did actually. You know what? And that's what made me go. You know what? I'm proud of you because you did say it with confidence. But now we're going to be smarter than everyone else on television. Okay. All right, we got Warriors Heat. Here's the thing: if you paid to see Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, or Kuminga or Al Horford play last night in Miami, well, you didn't get to, and the Heat took advantage of that.